Example 2. A manufacturer found that the marginal cost, C of x, to produce x computers can be found using the function C of x equal to 0.04 x squared minus 6x plus 800. Okay. Says the marginal cost were $6.45. How many computers were produced? So we know that C, or C of x, is our marginal cost. And we know that x is the number of computers. Okay. X is computers, C of x is marginal cost. Okay, so it says if the marginal cost were $6.45, we know marginal cost is C, so we have $6.45. How many means find. Computers was X. So C is $6.45. We need to find X, which means we're going to plug $6.45 in for C. We're going to take our equation, 0.04 x squared minus 6x plus 800. We're going to set it equal to that 645. We have a quadratic equation, which is degree 2. I'm not going to try to factor this because there are decimals. We can't use the square root property because we have an x to the first included. So let's go ahead and use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula says the first thing you need to do is have one side of your equation set equal to 0. So what we need to do is move that 645 over to the left-hand side by subtracting, and we wound up getting 155 because 800 minus 645 gets us 155. And now we're equal to 0. From here, we're going to identify A, B, and C. A is our leading coefficient next to the x squared. B is the coefficient on the x to the first, and C is our constant term. And in case you don't remember the quadratic formula, we have negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we're going to be plugging these values in to that formula. We get x is equal to the opposite of b, which is negative 6, plus or minus the square root of b squared. Make sure that you put the parentheses around the negative 6, especially when you enter it into your calculator. If you drop those parentheses, your answer will be wrong. We're going to have minus 4 times a, which is that 0.04, times c, which is our 155, all over 2 times a, which is our 0.04. The opposite of negative 6 is positive 6, plus or minus the square root. If we take negative 6 squared minus 4 times 0.04 times 155 in our calculator, you should get 11.2. If you are getting anything else, double check your parentheses. All over 0.08. Take the square root of 11.2. We have 6 plus or minus. Square root of 11.2 gets us 3.3466. And then we have the 0.08 in the denominator. We need to break this up into our two separate answers. So our first case, or first answer, possible answer I should say, we would have x is equal to 6 plus the 3.3466 all over 0.08. And then our second case is x equal to 6 minus 3.3466 all over 0.08. In our first case, we wind up getting 9.3466 all over 0.08. And that would get us to 116.833. On the other side, we wind up getting I'm going to work backwards here. Let's see, 4, 3, 5, 6. There we go. So 2.6534 all over 0.08, which winds up getting us to approximately 33.167. Notice that both of these answers are positive. If one were negative, we would have to throw it out. But here, we get to keep both answers. So our first answer was 117 because we're going to round to the nearest whole computer. And the other one is 33. So our sentence for understanding what the heck's going on in this problem, we can say that either 117 computers or 33 computers produced will create a marginal cost of, what was our marginal cost? $6.45. And your sentence could be different, okay? It could be something along the lines of 33 computers and 117 computers give a marginal cost of $6.45, something along those lines. And if you're wondering why you can have two different answers, this is a quadratic with a positive leading coefficient, which means it opens up. And that means that the marginal cost of $6.45 must have been like here-ish. So if y was 645, then we have two x values. The first one would be the 33, and then the other one would be the 117.